Solders, as in, what you use to bind two pieces of metal together. There's a lot of misspellings in the game. It's because it was made by a Russian studio, and I think the guy they paid to translate it didn't do a great job, but it's all good. Let's see. But that's a good description of fortresses. And you see 120 hit points out of 500, so I need this to have some time to heal, actually. I'd like it to get all the way back up to 500. I believe you can actually use the regenerate spell to heal up your cities, which is interesting. It's a shame I can't, like, bombard their capital from here. That'd be hilarious. I just eventually killed their capital with a dinky little level 1 city I put in. Keep peppering like the sea serpents and stuff. Why not? What we got here?
Yes?
Right. I was debating whether or not I should send them through the portal just yet. I'm gonna hold off till. Let's hold off until we have our stuff. Yeah, and see the living lands. They have this like kind of. They're pretty. I like the whole like. It's a cool effect with like the rays of sunlight coming down, but eventually I want to actually go through and do cleanse the land, which will reset all these back. This will become forest again. This will have that kind of pattern on it. But just as an emergency stopgap measure, I need to do the Plains of Life on Vindeland because they were really suffering from just, in general, they lost a lot of food production on account of that obnoxiousness. In fact, speaking of food production, let's continue, like, pumping out blessings of fertility and blessings of life. Because I'm actually really far behind on that with my cities, so. Oh no, Keraturn! However will it survive this furious assault? Yeah, that's an issue. If they keep plucking away at it, it'll never give it a chance to heal up. Uh-oh. Yeah, it looks like a Dramer came through the portal. It'll happen, which is it's actually kind of nice in a way, because now we're set up to really hit them and hit them hard, especially with some of these units back. Let's see, he should, yeah, do like a lot of damage on him. I think we'll even be able to finish him off this turn. Just from weakening it enough. Let's see.
If we must.
Yeah, she might even get a crit and kill him. If she doesn't, my hero will. That's nice. That's real nice. That bonus experience, can't complain. I'm actually gonna move my settler in here because if we have a Dramer coming through the portal, I don't want him to be attackable immediately. We also got, let's see, a catapult. Now we're gonna have 2 catapults and a whole bunch of other good stuff. So let's get a masterwork armor on our catapults. It'll just help them. It'll help them a bit. Let's see, spell ready. Blessing of fertility. Let's check our cities. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of cities too, but I think most of them are fortress, and yeah, they're all that. So, Keraturn needs it. Both the elf cities need to get caught up. So, let's do that. The first one I want to cast it on would actually be Keraturn, because I want it to grow into this silver mine, so we can get that delicious bonus material. Yeah, pelt something. They're jerks. Teach them a lesson. And honestly, we have so much defense here. We didn't really even need that forward fortress. It's just whatever, I felt like putting one in, so I put one in. And that way, Keraturn will grow big and strong. You there? Go clear this out. Yeah, we got some gold. And the other thing about the Quaddles is they don't really strike me as actual lizards, they strike me as kind of like reptilian toad men. Because if you get a good look at them, they look more like frogs. So, I don't know, like, if they were meant to be lizard men, they don't come across that way. So, just a thing. Oops, I burnt the hills. This poor town, it's taking a beating on just, like, all of its good land getting messed up. I also wish burnt down, I think I mentioned this, but, like, burnt terrain, I feel like should grow back. That would be an interesting aspect of it, but, oh well. I'm sure there's a mod for it that someone put out. Alright, and we've almost dealt. He'll probably run off because I gave him a bloody nose. I've been doing some recording today. I feel like, I don't know, it's interesting. After a while, like, yeah, your throat gets a little bit irritated, but it also gets used to talking more. I don't know. Okay, so he has an offer. Let's see this offer. Make peace, I get some gold, I get some mana. Done. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, he can't really settle in this terrain anymore. And two, I mean, yeah, I could have maybe finished one of these off, but, yeah, whatever. Let him go back and lick his wounds, and I think we've got every potential spot he could settle, except up here, taken over. That's another thing I don't like. Like, you can't deny them from moving through your territory, which is confusing because the monsters can do that to you. So it's like they have a diplomatic option that I don't have, which is frustrating. I don't get it, to be honest. But the reason why I'm doing that is Ice Lake will be able to heal up. It'll continue to grow. So when the next inevitable war comes around and it sends a ton of units our way, this guy will be fully healed up and even meaner. So honestly, I think this fortress is basically going to be able to hold this area almost permanently. Like, maybe later in the game he'll start throwing like a whole bunch of stuff at it, but you know, this is basically it's our version of the wall, you know. Yeah, if we could deny them from moving in our territory, they wouldn't be able to send anything across the Mystic Portal. Well, let me see if there's an option to do that, even. Maybe I'm missing something. Like, if I click here, does not wish to speak to you. Melee. See, we have peace, but I honestly, I need to look into that, because if I could tell him, no, you can't cross into my border, this is my border right here, so it would prevent him from doing this obnoxious habit of, oh, I'm going to send a settler in every so often and try to build, like, right next to, like, what he'll want to do is probably, like, try to build here or something and take, like, the magic garden away from us, and I'm sick of that nonsense, you know. So if I could tell him, no, look, you can't cross into my territory, he's stuck there, and he'll probably stay stuck there for quite some time. But I'm going to declare peace now, give my fortress a chance to heal itself up a bit. So I think it's about time we start an invasion of the Dramer world, and yeah, start. I want to get, if we look down here, you know, I would really like to get a city near that holy site. We do have living lands, which will let us clean this out. You need, like, a very powerful god spell to actually reverse this corruption. Or this, whatever you call it, this Dramer land. So we'll definitely do that and get a little city in here. And it'll be like a bastion of hope in you know, the middle of this hellish oozing landscape. So, but before I do that, I need to clear out any Dramer that are hanging around in the area, and I need to get these castles dealt with. Let's try pulling this up and taking a look. Yeah, sorry for the little. I think there was something came up anyway. Well, it looks like it's not going to tell us much about it. just that it's big and bad. um, yeah, it's got 150 hit points and it does 20 elemental damage, so that's nasty. I'm surprised that you. Well, maybe it will when we have sight of it, but I'd like to be able to pull up some information on it. Now, why do I want this holy ground? Well, that is how you unlock um, the last major upgrade to your units. So, basically, if I build a holy shrine to a gorilla here, I can get the last tier of cleric. They're very expensive in upkeep. Like I think they're like 20 mana each, but man oh man, they do so much. Like they're really strong. And then like later on, I also want to get one for Dalros. I believe that for human gives you an upgrade to your warriors, or maybe even halberdiers. I'm not sure. We'll have to look it up. And yeah, it's actually I'll look that up off camera because that might influence whether we build more halberdiers or go for more warriors. I honestly probably should have scooped up some warriors for this assault. Ooh. Yeah, I should have. And I didn't. I think between 3 healers, and I believe some of them have like regeneration and a couple other goodies. Yeah, there's like a regeneration aura. I think between all of these guys, we'll have enough people ready to go. Actually, that was kind of a mistake on my part. I should have built a couple of warriors. Just because it's going to be, well, you know, it'd be nice to have some bodies I can put in between these guys and the Dreamer, but I think they're leveled up enough and strong enough that they'll be able to survive it. So, yeah, I don't know actually. I'd hate to delay the assault even further, but honestly, it's probably a good idea to take care of that. Anyway, I'll think about it, and we'll come back with a renewed assault. This time with all of our forces kind of combined, going after the Dreamer. And again, apologies for missing out on, I think, like 20 turns or something like that. I was a dingus. I forgot to hit record. And then when I went back to look at the save, the autosave had saved over it, and that was another mistake. So it was a mistake compounding another mistake. So we lost a couple of turns, but I promise you, hardly anything happened. It was mostly me like plucking away at the Dreamer Castle and trying to get. Well, actually, trying to get. It gets a little confusing once you get more and more worlds opened up. Trying to get this fortress built. So, I mean, I accomplished my goals. I think, yeah, I got a little toehold here, and it's enough that it's going to, hopefully, like, one, we have eyes on these guys now, so if I see them getting uppity and sending more units here, I'll know, okay, they're planning some kind of an assault, so I can send out, like, a wizard or something to block them from getting through. And yeah, that's about it. Like honestly, not much happened. So you didn't really miss too much. I'm sorry you missed anything, but what you did miss won't be missed, if that makes sense. It wasn't terribly exciting or interesting. Unfortunately, you did miss kind of my whole like shtick about how, oh, you know, they have a lunatic cult. It's taking over in the northeast of this Taishiar, and you know it's you know gotten people all rowdy, a little bit nervous. Like, I mean, like it was funny, but forgot to hit the record button. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, it's just okay. That's just living. It looked funny. Oh, see, they built like little campground around the holy city. I guess it's like pilgrims coming in to worship. So, Anyway, yeah, we got some extra mana coming in from these guys. As they grow, they're going to make even more and more. So this one right here is already making 3 mana. So pretty nice. And this one, unfortunately, since it's an elf city, it's always going to make less mana than it could potentially make because of that minus 20% deficit. And that never goes away. Like, you'd think, like, that would go away over time because it's like, yeah, you're a different race and you're subject peoples, but at this point, you've been assimilated into the Empire, you're part of it, and all that. But no, you'll always get a 20% hit across the board for having a different race. So honestly, like building shrine cities or free towns with a race that isn't your own is a really silly idea. Only reason I did it here was, kind of a little bit of role play. Like I wanted to be kind of a whole thing with this lunatic cult is taking over and all that. But if you're not into like the role play aspect and kind of the emergent storytelling aspect that you can get in this game, don't do that for your free towns. All of your free towns and fortress cities, all those things. I think fortress cities actually, because they don't produce anything, I don't know if they take any hits for being made by a different race. So it might be that it's okay to build a fortress out of like a different race and you don't get any penalties for that. But if you try to do like a free town or anything else of that kind of nature, free town or a shrine city, you're gonna take a little bit of a hit. So something to keep in mind. Anywho, I've been talking about like calling the episode here for quite some time. So let's do that. I think we're good. So I'm gonna just have these guys wait one more turn. I'm still debating. Honestly, I think I'm gonna wait on it until I get a warrior or halberdier or something, because having like 2 or 3 of those guys will go a long way towards keeping our catapults and a couple other things safe. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and put some orders in. Yeah, we'll stick with warriors, and I'm not gonna really promote these guys unless they level up a lot. I want to save like all the masterwork stuff for better units that we're gonna be getting. So, well, like for instance the catapults. Anyway, yeah, I think that is a solid run. So, don't forget, like, comment, this, subscribe, if anybody's watching. Gosh, yeah, most of my series are doing quite well, and I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that there's an interest. This one, though, in particular, there's just something about it. It might be because it's an older game, and it might be that it isn't a game that's as praised or as popular as some of the other 4X titles out there, like Civilization 5 or even Endless Legend. And it's kind of a shame, because I really like this game. I think they did a really solid job of it. Sure, there are some aspects that you kind of wonder about. You kind of think they could have made a little bit better. But they make up for it with just the interesting... to me, like, what really sells this game, right, is just they have some very interesting character models. They have some very interesting play styles that they introduce. And they also, I think the graphics are really solid, and I actually think the story is good, too. So, maybe some people just aren't going for it for whatever reason. They think, it's, there are better titles out there, so why should I put the time and effort to play that particular one? And that's fair. It's a fair assessment. There's some weaknesses with this. Probably one of the main ones is kind of like, they give you 4 units that you can build. That's not much. There's not much variety of units, but overall, I think I'm more satisfied with my experience with it than frustrated by some of the weaker elements of it. So take it or leave it. I'm definitely going to finish this series out. I might try doing like another one, but at the end of the day, if no one's watching, like, it's several hours of time every time, like, to record, to edit, all that, and it's not worth putting the time in if I can get more interest in a different game. So after we finish this series out, I might switch to Endless Legend and see how that one does. It's a similar concept, a 4X game that is in a fantasy setting, but I think like there's it's just a little bit more popular and a little bit more loved. So it's kind of a shame because I do think Warlock and Warlock 2 are both pretty solid games, but the masses have spoken. They've and they found these games wanting. So you kind of have to accept that sometimes. Anywho, I've been going on and on. Let's call this an episode. Appreciate if you are watching this. Appreciate every viewer. So.